Right now, a tragic death on a train track in northwest Atlanta. Neighbors describing the bone-chilling moments hearing that train come to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Rick Fulbaum.
And I'm Lana Harris. Let's get right out to Atlanta News First. Don Shipman. He's along Cheshire Bridge Road, where both Atlanta police and CSX are now investigating. Don, this sounds terrifying. What do we know?
People who live and work in this area say that they could hear the train slamming on its brakes attempting to stop. It was loud. They could hear it blocks away. Atlanta police and fire crews swarming a parking lot behind the Heretic nightclub along Cheshire Bridge Road shortly after 6 o'clock this morning. A CSX spokesperson confirming one of its trains hit a man they say was trespassing on the tracks just west of Cheshire Bridge and Faulkner Roads. The victim's identity has yet to be released, but officials at the scene say that he was in his late 50s. Though it's not clear if the man was unhoused, neighbors tell me that people who may be experiencing homelessness are often seen walking along the tracks. CSX out with a statement extending sympathies to everyone impacted, adding, quote, "This is an unfortunate reminder of the dangers of trespassing on railroad property." And because this accident happened on railroad property, CSX is leading the investigation. In northwest Atlanta, Don Shipman, Atlanta News First.